All right, well, welcome to Mathify. I'm happy that you've joined us, and we're going to work on some math today. When you log into the site, you can be prepared with a question ready to go so the tutor knows what they can help you with. Otherwise, have a topic to discuss, but most often it's good if the tutor is being provided with some information about where you are in your course and what you want to work on. Okay, so the screen looks like this, where there's a whiteboard, and then there's also, and you don't see it in this view, but there's also a microphone at the top, approximately where I'm drawing this arrow, and it just looks like a microphone. And if you select microphone, you'll see a little line that comes across it, which means it's activating the microphone. And what that is an audio feature. So we can work together as if we were on the phone. It makes sessions go far faster. There's plenty more opportunity for feedback, and I just feel that it's a lot clearer of a session when we do audio. Having said that, we don't have to use audio if you're not comfortable doing so. So over here on the right side of the screen is the chat window, and there will be a little speech bubble with a couple of faces, small face and a large face in it. Again, that will have a little red link suggesting that there's somebody has said something there. So when we get notification of a message, you'll see it over there. And then we would type in this chat pod all of our discussions if we don't use audio. If you choose to use audio and you click that microphone, you'll see a little window pop up, and you are to select either mobile audio or browser-based audio. I would suggest browser-based audio, but it's up to you. If you use your mobile phone, that's fine too. You will not be charged for any fees associated with using the phone with this website. So those are our two ways to communicate. Once we are understanding what we're trying to work on, at the top of the page, you can see there's a number of pages we could be using. Right now we're on page 1, and you can see page 2 in the background. We can add as many pages as we want, but typically we'll stay on 1 or 2 pages. So this is a whiteboard. It's similar to a smart board if you've seen that in your classroom. And we can work out any of our problems here on the board. I want to draw your attention to the bottom of the whiteboard, and you'll see some icons at the bottom. And these are everything that we have in our ability to use. So we have something here with a redo, a garbage can, which of course is just deleting anything that we've put up there. So if I click to the fourth one, which is a pencil, and I write up there hi, I can actually delete by clearing all. I just hit the garbage can and I say delete all, and so now everything's gone from my screen. So that's what the delete figure is for. Again, if I drew something else and then I hit my undo button, which was the first one, all my pen strokes start coming off one by one. So that's what that's for. So our undo, our delete, our redo, right? If I didn't want to take everything off, I could redo it. And then this is our pencil tool, which I've been using a little bit. You would use your left mouse unless you have a tablet. And in that case, then your writing gets a lot neater and easier to read. And I'm using a tablet. My writing might still not be easy to read, but it's the best I can do. Beside that is an eraser. Okay, so if I've drawn something on the board and I decide I want to erase it, I just click over top with my left mouse click, and that would erase it. And as we're moving across, you see the color palette. Color palette will just allow you to change colors. Okay, and we have, 5 colors to choose from. I got green, I have black, purple, whatever. So we can change colors if we want to. Right beside that is what you call the selection tool. It's kind of the cursor. If I jump over to the shapes and I click on the shapes, you see we have a number of shapes that we can choose from. Very basic: triangle, square, etc. A line, an arrow. So if I picked on this hexagon here, pop that up on the screen, and then went back to the selection tool, the hands. As you can see, I can click on it and then I can move this around on the screen if I want. Either, oh, there we go, decreasing or increasing the size, rotating it if I wanted to, or actually moving it on the screen. It doesn't work quite as well as the spinning around, but we can move this and manipulate it. So that is the selection tool, and then right beside that, if I wanted to create some text, the capital A and the lowercase a, that's the text box, and we would click on that, start typing somewhere on my screen. Problem to work out. And then for the tutor to be able to see it, currently, as you can see, I've written up there, typing a problem to work out. The tutor will not see it unless you click off of that text box. So again, you got to click off somewhere on the whiteboard for it to show up on the tutor's screen. Okay, and they might ask you for that if you said, "Oh, I've already put it on the board." They might say, "Oh, can you click off of the text box?" Because otherwise it doesn't show up in their view. Okay, after that, then again, you have the shapes, and again, we can create circles and squares and lines and what have you. If there's a shape that you don't see up there, then you would just use the line tool to create it yourself. Okay. Beside that, we have the grid paper. It's all different backgrounds. So if I click on that, you can see I have no background. I can have small grid. I can have larger grid. I could end up with a 4 quadrants. I could end up with a number line for using, finding integers or working out problems with integers. So those are our background shapes. Then beside that, we have this camera, which is an upload image key. Let's look at that for a quick sec. I'm going to delete, no, I'm not going to delete all that stuff. I'm just going to erase our hexagon and that, so I can hopefully bring up an image to show you what we do. If you have saved an image to your computer, your device, you can upload it. And let's say you took a picture of a textbook or a worksheet or what have you. Instead of you typing all of the information in, you can click upload image, and then you can go to where you've saved your picture. Like you can see here, my window's popped up, and I'm going to hit this test math page. I clicked on it, I said open, and it shows up on my whiteboard. So that's a nice feature to have. Saves you a lot of time in trying to describe to the tutor what you want to work on. So whatever you have saved or whatever you have on your phone, you can bring up onto the whiteboard, and we can work from there. All right, next we have our locker, or I think it's called My Stuff. Let me just pick, yeah, it's called My Stuff. And so this is where you have whiteboards and what have you that have been saved already. Okay, and we don't want that. And then there's a disk for you to save your information on. And the last thing's the glossary. And of course, if we don't know some terms, we can click on the glossary and say, oh, I want to know what an acute angle is, and it'll give me a definition of it. So we have A through Z of items in our glossary. Okay, so that's a quick intro to the tools and to clear all of that stuff. Typically, we use the pencil a lot. If you're trying to find out the square root of 49, we would write that on the board, and we could discuss how we find these, the roots of these numbers or what have you. But whatever it is we're working on, typically we're working with the whiteboard. talking again, we're communicating in the chat window over here, or we're using the audio feature, which again, I do recommend. Okay. Hopefully that gives you a quick intro as to what to expect when you log on. Again, log on with a question you'd like to work on, or a topic at least, so the tutor has somewhere to start and approximately what level you're at in your classroom studies. Okay, thanks for visiting, and let's continue with the session.